The Year Without a Santa Claus wasn't just a gentle holiday cartoon, it was a pressure cooker of creative exhaustion, ambition, and barely controlled chaos. What looks cozy and harmless on screen is forged through brutal deadlines, collapsing budgets, and animators pushed to their limits. Scenes erupt at the last minute. Songs are rewritten under stress. Characters that feel timeless are born out of panic and compromise. You are about to hear 15 weird facts about The Year Without a Santa Claus. Fact number 15. The entire production exists because Rankin and Bass need a fast follow-up hit, not a passion project. After earlier holiday successes, the studio faces intense network pressure to deliver another seasonal special on an unforgiving schedule. This film is not planned years ahead. It is rushed into existence. Scripts circulate while animation is already underway. Storyboards change mid-production. What audiences do not know is that several sequences are animated before final dialogue is locked. Animators work from rough timing sheets, guessing emotional beats. It is not careful craftsmanship. It is controlled improvisation. The finished film feels confident. The process is anything but. This speed forces simplicity. Characters become broader. Songs carry more narrative weight. Santa's exhaustion mirrors the studio's own fatigue. It is not just a story about burnout, it is created by burnout. That pressure leaves fingerprints on every frame. Fact number 14. Santa's decision to quit is controversial inside the production itself. Network executives worry the premise feels too dark for children. A depressed Santa threatens the brand. Writers are asked to soften the idea without removing it. The result is tonal whiplash. Gentle songs sit next to existential dread. Cheer collides with melancholy. What audiences did not know is that early drafts lean even harder into Santa's emotional collapse. Scenes are trimmed not for time but for fear. Fear that parents will complain. Fear that children will feel unsettled. The final version walks a tightrope. Not despair, but weariness. Not collapse, but retreat. This compromise defines the film's strange emotional power. It does not shout sadness, it whispers it. That quiet choice makes Santa feel human, and that humanity lingers long after the snow melts. Fact number 13. Heat Miser and Snow Miser dominate the cultural memory but nearly derail the story. They are designed as scene stealers. Their musical numbers explode with energy, color, and personality. Test audiences react more strongly to them than to Santa himself. Producers panic. The villains are too likable. Rewrites scramble to rebalance the narrative. Lines are reassigned. Reactions are added. The brothers are reframed not as leads, but obstacles. What audiences did not know is how close the film comes to becoming their movie entirely. Their songs are allowed to remain because they work too well to cut. Instead, Santa is repositioned as the emotional anchor. It is not about spectacle. It is about resolve. The brothers burn bright, then step aside. That restraint saves the story, but their shadow still looms over everything. Fact number 12. The animation style reflects international production strain rarely discussed. Rankin and Bass rely on overseas studios working under intense conditions. Communication delays cause inconsistencies in character movement and facial expressions. Corrections are expensive. Many flaws remain. What audiences see as charm often comes from necessity. Reused movements, simplified backgrounds, limited motion disguised with music. It is not laziness, it is survival. Every extra cell costs time the team does not have. Directors focus effort on musical sequences where attention matters most. Quiet scenes receive less polish. This imbalance creates the film's rhythm. Bursts of life followed by stillness, energy followed by calm. That pattern is not artistic design, it is logistical reality. The constraints shape the emotional pacing. Limitation becomes language, and the film speaks fluently because of it. Fact number 11. The Weather Brothers are not just gimmicks. They reflect a deeper production anxiety about control. Each represents forces the filmmakers cannot tame. Deadlines, budgets, network notes. Heat Miser's chaos mirrors production overruns. Snow Miser's rigidity echoes broadcast standards. Santa is trapped between them just like the creators. What audiences did not know is how intentional this metaphor becomes during late rewrites. Dialogue sharpens, conflicts clarify. The story shifts from simple holiday plot to workplace allegory. A tired leader negotiates impossible demands. He retreats not from weakness but from overload. That theme resonates because it is lived. The filmmakers are not imagining burnout. They are documenting it, quietly, through song and snow, through puppets and paint. That truth gives the film its unexpected weight. Fact number 10. This is the point where the production nearly implodes. Music deadlines collide with animation lock dates. Songs are still being written while scenes are already animated. It is not ideal. It is dangerous. One musical number must be shortened after animation is complete, which forces editors to cut frames mid-motion. What audiences did not know is how much panic surrounds this phase. Call sheets are rewritten daily. Late-night phone calls decide which lyrics survive. And right here, the studio realizes something else. The songs are carrying the entire emotional load of the film. Without them, the story collapses. That is why they double down on music instead of cutting it. And before we go any further, go ahead and like and subscribe, because this next stretch reveals how close this holiday classic comes to vanishing entirely. Not delayed, not altered, gone, forever. Fact number 9. Mrs. Claus becomes the emotional spine of the film almost by accident. Early drafts treat her as background support, gentle, quiet, peripheral. But during production, the team realizes Santa feels too passive without her. Lines are rewritten, her dialogue sharpens, her resolve hardens. What audiences did not know is that this shift happens late, very late. Voice sessions add emphasis and urgency. Her performance reframes the entire narrative. She is not waiting, she is acting, not worried but determined. In a film about exhaustion, she represents momentum. That change saves the story. Without her, Santa's arc feels hollow. With her, it becomes earned. The film stops being about quitting and becomes about recovery. That pivot does not come from theory. It comes from necessity. The story is breaking. She is the fix, and she holds it together with quiet force. Fact number 8. The Miser Brothers duet is choreographed to hide animation shortcuts. Every exaggerated gesture, every rhythmic stomp serves a double purpose. It entertains and it distracts. Limited animation demands clever staging. Movements repeat. Camera angles cheat. Timing covers gaps. What audiences did not know is how carefully the song is engineered to mask constraints. The faster the rhythm, the less viewers notice reuse. The louder the music, the less scrutiny on motion. This is not deception. It is craft under pressure. The sequence becomes iconic because it turns limitation into spectacle. Not a flaw, but a feature. The brothers feel larger than life because the animation leans into theatricality. Realism is abandoned. Personality takes over. That decision echoes beyond this film. It becomes a template. When resources shrink, performance expands. And it works. Well, fact number 7. Santa's illness storyline reflects real concerns about aging performers behind the scenes. Voice actors are dealing with exhaustion and tight recording schedules. Sessions run long, takes stack up. Fatigue is audible. Directors choose not to hide it. They lean into it. What audiences hear as character depth is often genuine strain. Breaths linger. Pauses stretch. The performance feels lived in because it is. This is not method acting. It is circumstance. The film captures weariness without exaggeration. That authenticity grounds the fantasy. Santa does not collapse dramatically. He fades, slowly, quietly. That realism unsettles because it mirrors real life. Heroes do not always fall with thunder. Sometimes they simply stop. And that truth lands harder than spectacle ever could. Fact number 6. Network notes demand a clearer moral by the final act. Executives worry ambiguity will confuse young viewers. Writers push back. The compromise is subtle. Dialogue clarifies intent without flattening emotion. The lesson is not forced, it is implied. What audiences did not know is how close the ending comes to being rewritten entirely. A more explicit resolution is proposed then rejected. The team fights to keep restraint. Not preachy, not loud, just honest. That choice preserves the film's legacy. It trusts the audience. Children feel the message. Adults recognize it. The story does not shout hope. It allows it to arrive naturally. That quiet confidence is rare, especially under pressure, and it is why the ending still resonates decades later. Fact number 5. The narrator voice gives the film its storybook calm, but behind the scenes, it is anything but calm. Recording sessions happen late in production, after animation choices are already locked. That limits flexibility. The narrator must explain emotional shifts that visuals cannot fully convey. What audiences did not know is how carefully those lines are calibrated to patch story gaps. Phrases are rewritten repeatedly to smooth over abrupt transitions. Tone becomes critical. Too cheerful, and Santa's exhaustion feels fake. Too somber, and the holiday spirit collapses. The final performance walks a narrow line. Warm but weary. Gentle but grounded. That balance is deliberate. The narration does not tell children what to feel. It guides them quietly. It becomes glue holding fractured elements together. Without it, the film feels episodic. With it, the story flows like memory. Soft edges, clear intent, quiet authority. Fact number 4. The film's pacing feels unusual because it reflects broadcast realities, not storytelling preference. Act breaks are shaped around commercial timing. Musical numbers are positioned to keep viewers from changing channels. What audiences did not know is how heavily these constraints influence structure. Scenes are shortened or extended to hit exact time codes. Emotional beats land earlier than expected. Resolution stretches just long enough to feel satisfying before the final break. This mechanical rhythm paradoxically enhances the dreamlike quality. The story feels like drifting snow rather than linear march. That sensation sticks. Viewers remember how it feels more than what happens. It becomes ritual viewing, familiar yet slightly off, comforting but reflective. The constraints carve the mood. Television limitations become aesthetic identity, and that identity endures. Fact number 3. The color palette is intentionally muted for a holiday special. Reds are softer. Blues are heavier. Whites feel cold, not sparkling. What audiences did not know is that this choice sparks internal debate. Executives want brighter cheer. Artists argue for emotional realism. Winter should feel heavy. Fatigue should feel real. The compromise leans toward restraint. Snow is not magical. It is isolating. That choice reinforces the theme. Santa is not surrounded by joy. He is buried under expectation. The subdued colors make warmth feel earned when it finally arrives. When red returns, it matters. When smiles appear, they land harder. The film understands contrast. Hope only works when darkness exists first. That philosophy quietly separates this special from its peers. Fact number 2. Audience reaction surprises everyone. Children respond to the sadness. Parents respond to the honesty. Critics note the unusual tone. What audiences did not know is how unexpected this reception feels inside the studio. The film is considered a risk, too introspective, too quiet. But it connects. Not because it distracts, but because it reflects. It tells viewers it is okay to rest, okay to struggle, okay to ask for help. That message resonates across generations. The film becomes an annual return, not for spectacle, but for reassurance. Its cultural impact grows slowly, not explosive, but enduring. Each year it finds new relevance. Burnout never goes out of style, neither does compassion. The fact number 1. Santa's arc redefines the character without announcing it. He is not weakened, he is humanized. The film reframes strength as knowing when to pause. What audiences did not know is how radical this is for its time. Holiday icons are expected to be tireless. This Santa admits limits. That quiet rebellion shifts the genre. Future specials allow vulnerability. Leaders can rest, heroes can doubt. This film plants that seed. It does not preach it, it lives it, and that choice echoes through decades of storytelling. The bravest thing Santa does is stop, then return, changed. That message lands because it is earned through struggle, not magic. Bonus fact, the title itself almost changes. Executives fear it sounds bleak. Marketing teams push alternatives. The creators fight back. The original title stays because it tells the truth. There really is a year without Santa. That honesty defines the film. It does not promise constant joy. It promises meaning, and that is why it lasts. The Year Without a Santa Claus is not just a holiday cartoon. It is a quiet confession about exhaustion, resilience, and renewal. If this surprised you, share it. And remember, even legends need rest.